In the small, bustling town of Willowbrook, nestled between rolling hills and dense forests, there lived a young woman named Clara. She worked as a florist in her family's shop, arranging vibrant bouquets for weddings, anniversaries, and the occasional apology. Though her days were filled with the fragrance of lilies and roses, her heart often felt heavy. Life, she thought, was a series of unfulfilled dreams and unanswered questions. Each morning Clara woke to the same routine: a cup of coffee, a quick glance at her phone, and the walk to the shop. She had grown numb to the rhythm of her days, the monotony stealing her joy. She envied the carefree laughter of children passing by, the content smiles of her neighbors, and the way the world seemed to move without her. One autumn morning a customer walked into the shop just as Clara was sweeping leaves from the entrance. The woman was older, with kind eyes that crinkled when she smiled. She wore a faded scarf and carried a small notebook tucked under her arm. Clara greeted her with the usual politeness, expecting a simple transaction. But the woman lingered, her gaze sweeping the shop as though she were taking in every petal and stem. "Beautiful," the woman said, her voice soft yet firm. "It must be such a gift to work with these every day." Clara paused, surprised by the comment. She had never thought of her work as a gift. It was just a job, wasn't it? Something to fill her time and pay the bills. "I suppose," Clara replied hesitantly, "but it's just flowers." The woman chuckled, a sound like wind chimes in the breeze. "Ah, but they're not just flowers, they're messengers. They carry love, apologies, joy, and sometimes even grief. Every bouquet tells a story." Clara stared at her, unsure of how to respond. The woman extended her hand. "I'm Elinor." "And you, my dear, are someone who needs a little gratitude." Before Clara could reply, Elinor placed her notebook on the counter. The cover was simple, with the word *gratitude* etched in gold letters. "Take this," Elinor said. "Write down one thing you're grateful for every day. It doesn't have to be big, just something that makes your heart a little lighter. You might be surprised by how it changes things." Clara wanted to refuse, to explain that she didn't have time for such things, but something about Elinor's earnestness stopped her. She nodded, tucking the notebook into her apron pocket. That evening, after closing the shop, Clara sat at her kitchen table with the notebook in front of her. She stared at the blank page, feeling silly. What was there to be grateful for? Her life was ordinary at best, dull at worst. Still, she picked up a pen and wrote, "I'm grateful for the smell of fresh coffee in the morning." It was a small thing, but it was true. The simple ritual of brewing coffee brought her a moment of calm each day. She closed the notebook and went to bed, thinking little of it. The next morning, Clara noticed something she hadn't before. The sunlight streaming through her kitchen window cast a golden glow on the walls, and the sound of birds chirping outside seemed unusually cheerful. She opened the notebook and wrote, "I'm grateful for the morning sunlight and the song of birds." As the days passed, Clara continued the practice. She found herself noticing things she had overlooked for years: the way her mother hummed while arranging flowers, the warmth of her cat curled up on her lap, the laughter of children playing in the park. Each entry in the notebook felt like a small thread weaving its way into a larger tapestry. One day a young man named Henry walked into the shop. He was shy, fumbling over his words as he explained that he needed a bouquet for his grandmother's birthday. Clara helped him choose a mix of daisies and sunflowers, and as he handed over the money, he hesitated. "Thank you," he said, his voice earned since you've made this so special. "My grandmother's been feeling lonely lately, and I think this will really cheer her up." Clara felt a warmth spread through her scent. She realized that her work wasn't just about arranging flowers, it was about connecting with people, even in small ways. That evening she wrote in her notebook, "I'm grateful for the chance to make someone's day brighter." As weeks turned into months, Clara's perspective began to shift. She started greeting customers with genuine enthusiasm, finding joy in their stories and their reasons for buying flowers. She volunteered to deliver bouquets to the local hospital, where she met patients who shared their gratitude for the simple act of receiving flowers. She began to see the threads of connection between herself and the people around her, each interaction a stitch in the fabric of her life. Elena returned to the shop one afternoon, her scarf now replaced with a knitted shawl. Clara greeted her with a smile that wasn't forced or polite. It was genuine. "Ah, there it is," Elena said, her eyes twinkling. "There what is?" Clara asked. "Gratitude," Elena replied. "It suits you." Clara laughed, realizing how much she had changed since that first encounter. "You were right," she admitted. "Writing in that notebook, it's like I've opened my eyes for the first time." Elena nodded. "Gratitude has a way of doing that. It shows us that we're all connected, that every moment, every interaction is a gift." One snowy evening, Clara sat by the fireplace with her notebook. She flipped through the pages, marveling at how full it had become. Each entry was a reminder of the beauty in her life, the kindness of strangers, the love of her family, the simple pleasures of nature. She realized that gratitude had transformed her, not by changing her circumstances, but by changing how she saw them. And with that realization came a profound sense of happiness, not the fleeting kind that comes from material possessions or external achievements, but a deep, abiding joy rooted in connection and appreciation. Clara smiled as she wrote her final entry for the year. "I'm grateful for the tapestry of life, woven with threads of gratitude and connection. The more I see it, the more beautiful it becomes." That night, as she drifted off to sleep, Clara thought of Eleanor's words. Gratitude helps us realize we are all connected. She understood now that happiness wasn't something to chase or find. It was something to cultivate, one small act of appreciation at a time. And in that realization, she found peace.